Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name is Layne and I am a nurse, and in this video I'm going to be talking about one of my new favorite hobbies that I picked up during the pandemic that really helped me to alleviate burnout and just to rest and unwind, and that is gaming. So in this video I'm going to be talking about my favorite Nintendo Switch games to play, and I hope this helps out other nurses who are maybe thinking about getting into gaming but aren't sure which games would really be a good place to start. All right, let's get started. All right, so the first game that I'm gonna talk about is called Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this game actually took me by surprise that I liked it as much as I did. So this game is an open world role-playing game, and it's an adventure game. So you are riding around this magical land called Hyrule on horseback. And let me tell you, the landscapes are beautiful. And it's just so calming because there's amazing music. Like I said, the sights are amazing, and there's so many different side quests that you can do, like conquering shrines. So if you like puzzles, you're gonna love the shrines. But if you also like a good story, it's as you're doing all of these side quests and everything, you are trying to save the kingdom from this evil calamity Ganon. And I can't even begin to describe how intricate it kind of is, but it also makes so much sense with the story, and you get to meet all of these little characters in different villages, and in each village there's different side quests that you can do. So this game is hours and hours of play, and I have not even beaten this game yet, guys, but I love playing it because I just feel so relaxed when I'm on that horseback ride, and when I'm like looking out and the weather changes, and it just feels kind of lifelike, and so I really love that. Another part of the game that I did not think that I would be into is that a lot of times like random monsters or enemies will like crop up and try to fight you, and I am not someone who's good at like fight combinations on the controller or anything like that. Like I am not like that at all, and actually it gets me like a little bit amped up because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to beat this. And I was really shocked, but I actually do like that, especially as a nurse, like after a stressful shift or just dealing with a crazy day. It's kind of nice to come home and just be like, okay, I'm gonna beat this monster and kind of release some of that stress, and then I feel good afterwards. So I would recommend this for nurses. I think it's an amazing game, and if you're just getting started and want to learn about like adventure games and kind of see what that open world format is like, I think it'd be a great place to start. And based on what I've heard from other gamers, it's not one of the harder games when it comes to like those kind of fighting combinations. And I am not a pro at all, and I'm making it through, so I think that you would too if you're just starting out. So I think Zelda Breath of the Wild would be a great place to start. So the next game is one that I have fallen in love with very recently. Like I just started playing this over the past month when Nintendo released it, and it's called Earthbound. And I was also surprised by how much I love this game. So this game is actually like a throwback OG Nintendo game from like the 90s. And I think most gamers like love it and are aware of it. So the main character's name is Ness, and he is on a mission to save the world from an evil alien sometime in the future who's going to invade. And he has to go around and find 8 different sanctuaries around his world in order to save the planet. And he does this with three friends that he finds along the way, and they kind of follow him as he's like walking around and stuff as you meet them. In this game, I am only about halfway through, and it's just so calming to me. I don't know why, like it gives me like that nostalgia feel. The music is pretty like cheerful and like optimistic, but it's definitely a game where you have to think about what's the best next step for you to do in terms of the plot, because the plot is great. And I mean, even with that, there are hints that you can find that'll tell you pretty much what you need to do next. So it's not it's not a very difficult game, but it's a game that you can use your mind and you're like, like what is this game trying to tell me that I need to do next? And I love the game because there's so many different little characters that you can talk to who are doing random stuff that may or may not be like directly related to the plot. And so it just is like a very vibrant, like full of life game that I really like. And it's not hard in terms of button and fighting combinations, which, like I said, I am not the best person at fight combinations. So this game is good. It's one of those games where when you meet the enemy, you have a couple different options of like, do you want to use, I guess he has some like psychic powers. Do you want to use those, or do you want to bash him with something? Or, you know, you have a second to kind of think about what step you want to take next instead of having to do combinations. Like, you tell the game what you want it to do, and you have plenty of time in between those steps to kind of strategize and think about what you want to do. So for someone like me who's like still getting into this and still like not super quick, it's been very helpful, but still difficult though. Like, you're not going to beat every enemy that you come across, because I found with this game you really have to build up enough experience points and HP before you can beat certain bosses anyway. So it's kind of almost a given, it feels like, that you will have to replay certain bosses until you have the strength. But I kind of like that because, I don't know, it's just, I can't describe it. Usually something like that would frustrate me, but in this game, it's calming. I don't mind just taking my time with the game, enjoying it as I'm going along, because it really is like a journey game. So I guess I like the fact that it's about kind of embracing the journey, and it's really about the journey more than the destination, and it's about doing that journey with your best friends. So I really love that, and I think for nurses it would be a nice relaxing game to unwind. With this game, I don't feel like my blood pressure ever really goes up, because I know that I'm gonna have time to like think about the enemies when I have to actually battle them. And there's even like an auto fight button, which, I mean, doesn't mean that you're necessarily gonna win, but like, I mean, it's kind of nice sometimes. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this game. Like, this is one recently that I've been playing almost every night because I really like it. Another game that I've really liked is called Unpacking, and I actually started playing this game on the PC, but I know that they also do have it available on the Nintendo Switch. And I was also pleasantly surprised about this game. This game is very mindfulness heavy. And so it's perfect for nurses who are stressed and just want to relax. Has great calming music. And so this is a puzzle game, but it feels like a story. So you're going through someone's life and you're unpacking them through different moves that they've done. So you're literally like clicking on boxes and taking out items that they have in the boxes and putting them away in different rooms. And so there's a degree of which you have to do a certain order and you have to do things in a certain way, but there's also a lot of autonomy and exactly what book goes where, and there you know, you can really have some variation to what your room is ultimately going to look like, but everything has to be organized. So I feel like this is a great game for someone who is like really organized and maybe a little type A, and they like putting things away, and maybe you like to label things. This is the game for you. And honestly, even as someone who's really not into organizing things, I still think it was a really fun game, because as you're unpacking this character's belongings, and you never see the character, you kind of get to learn about their life, and you learn about, like, what little items did this person take with them throughout, you know, I don't know how many years it is, but however many decades they kept bringing the same item with them, or how certain items changed, or how different things happened in their life and how that determined where they were moving to. Without giving anything away, I'll just leave it there. But I thought it was really nice, and this game is one that you can finish in like really a long afternoon or evening, but if you wanted to space it out over a couple days, you could. So it's not one that, you know, is gonna take you forever, but if you just want a quick game that you're like, I have a long like car ride, or I'm taking a little trip and I'm gonna be on the plane, this is one that's really nice for that. but ultimately I think it's great for nurses and maybe even ICU nurses. Like if you're like very like type A, or you're like really want things to be a certain way, I think this game is really great, really relaxing, and like I said, that mindfulness aspect makes it a great way to unwind. So the next game that I'll recommend is called A Short Hike, and this game, it is so relaxing. After a long shift where time is of the essence and you're running around all day, this game is all about stopping to smell the roses as you are walking and I guess hiking up a hill or a mountain as this little penguin. And he stops and he talks to all these other little cute characters along the way. And there's a nice little story that kind of goes along with it as to why he's hiking up this mountain. And all of the little characters that you meet have their own little journeys that they're going on as well. So this game is really not one that you could blow through it extremely quickly and just get through it in an afternoon, but I liked milking it. Like, I didn't mind just stopping and clicking on every single sign or object or character that I came across. And you do have to do some little side quests to kind of advance, but I didn't mind. And I'm someone who's very much like, okay, let's go, go, go. But in this game, it was a very nice change of pace where it was like, okay, I'm really just gonna drink up this whole game and enjoy it. And like most of the games I love, the music was also very calming. And as a little penguin, you're able to dive into the water, you're able to soar through the air and through the clouds, and it was just very, very enjoyable for someone who likes a cozy little casual game such as me. So if that's you and you want something that's gonna just, I don't know, just make you want to get your cup of tea or coffee and snuggle up on your couch with a blanket, that's this game. Okay, so the next game that I also really have loved, if you are an empath, which I know a lot of nurses are, get ready to cry, okay? This is an indie game that's an interactive storytelling game, so it's no like battles or anything like that. It's really you following a story, and it's not hard. There's not really, I don't think there were really any puzzles for you to really figure out. It was more so just following the story. But you can like move your character around and all that stuff. But so this story is about two doctors, I'm not sure if they're actually medical doctors or not, who are called in when a patient is in their last few moments of life. So when they're in hospice, and they come in to help the patient fulfill their last wish. So in this story, they come in and the guy, I won't give too much away, but the guy is saying that there's something that he would like before he dies. And they actually dive into his memories, trying to go back into his past to see how they can make this last wish be fulfilled. And it is a beautiful, beautiful story, very rich story. If you're like a heavy story person, heavy, like, you know, you really want to get into people's emotions, like that is me. This story will grip you, okay? And like, again, like all of the games I like, the music, when I tell you, when this game finished, they actually have like an area where you can just listen to the soundtrack within the game. I was just playing the scores and the soundtrack for a while after the game ended because the scores are extremely beautiful. And so I recommend this to nurses because, I mean, it does have kind of a palliative care, end of life feel. And I know as nurses, a lot of times we have to compartmentalize our emotions during our shifts. We have patients who might pass away, and you don't always get to feel all of those emotions in the moment because you kind of have to move on to the next patient and be strong for maybe the family members or other coworkers in those moments. And so I found that this game actually gave me a lot of catharsis. When I played this game, I realized there was a lot of emotion kind of trapped up in me that I hadn't fully processed. And so by playing this game and actually having those good cries, it helped me to actually feel those emotions, process them, and then be able to release them. And I think that's really important during the pandemic, during COVID-19 and everything, when burnout is high and we're in situations where we can't always process a lot of this stuff and a lot of this stress, a lot of this emotional distress that we're going through. And so I felt that this game was a good release for me to start that healing process, especially with compassion fatigue. So if that's you, I recommend this game. You know, get ready to just be curled up, probably play this game by yourself if you're having a me day, and just, you know, kind of have your tissues ready. Okay. The next game is called Stardew Valley. And this was one of the second games that I started playing during the pandemic. And I like it because this is a like farming sim slash kind of like dating marriage sim. So it's really casual. Also a cozy game where there's great music and the characters are very cute. And again, this is another game where you get to know the characters very well. And like I said, you kind of can like, I guess, date different bachelors or bachelorettes, get to know them. And then one day, as you like get to know them over time, you can propose, be engaged, get married. So that's one side of it. And then there's also the side if you're more into like the farming. There's so much you can do with farming and like creating different tools and things like that. So that's also really fun as you're trying to get more money and expand your farm. So I found it very relaxing. If you're someone who used to play Harvest Moon as a kid, me, and I loved Harvest Moon, this is pretty much like a Harvest Moon, but like really decked out and updated. So I really enjoyed it. It's just, I don't know, something about farming sims. I know a lot of people like them. I don't know why I love them so much, but I do. And I like that this game is like not dependent upon the actual timing of like what today's date is or what the month is. So you can come and go as you please in the game as you save it. It might be winter, it might be spring, it might be summer, as you're working your way through the game. And there's different crops that are available in different events or gaming events that will be happening during those seasons. The town even has little holidays for each month or each season, which I thought was really cute. So I just found it to be such a cute game and just very cozy. So when in doubt, if you're extremely new to gaming and you're like, I just want something extremely casual, I highly recommend this game. I think most people who are not really gamers really like this game. And lastly, I feel like I cannot make a video about gaming or Nintendo Switch games without mentioning Animal Crossing New Horizons. So I know this is a very, very popular game amongst a lot of people, and this is actually the game that got me back into gaming during the pandemic. I actually was starting to play it with one of my friends who's also a nurse, and it's relaxing. I don't know, I keep saying that for all of the games, but it's true. All the games I'm saying are very relaxing. So this is like another kind of, it does have a farming component now in the newer updates, but it's mostly about you being on an island where you can fish, you can decorate your house with little items and craft, do little DIY crafts to create the furniture. There's plenty of customization with your character, whether that be your hair, your clothes. You can, you know, go shopping and sell things at the little Tom Nook store. And there's just so much that you can do to customize this entire island while also being very relaxing and low stress. So with this game, you can really do as much or as little as you want to. There's no pressure. I mean, in the beginning of the game, there are certain things that the game wants you to unlock, but really you could have the most immaculate island, which I have seen some amazing islands, let me tell you. Or your island could just be pretty bare, but maybe you just like to decorate your house, or maybe you just like to get plenty of different clothes and hairstyles so that you can play with them, or you like to collect plenty of fish and fossils that can go into the museum. So it's really up to you and whatever you want. And so I really liked that after, you know, a long shift where there's a lot of pressure on you. I feel like this game is all about self-care, where you're literally on an island relaxing, but it's virtual. And I like the fact that you can actually like hang out with friends. You can go to their island, they can come to your island, you can trade, you can kind of compare what they're doing with their island to what you're doing. So I also like the actual community aspect of Animal Crossing New Horizons as well. And I think that that's part of the reason why it probably got so popular during the pandemic as well, because people were really able to still interact virtually. And I love this game also because of that community aspect around it. So if you go onto YouTube, like there's plenty of videos, Discord channels. I mean, there's just so many people who play that game. So there's so many resources for you if you're trying to start that game. And on Instagram, there are plenty of pictures of people's islands to inspire you as you're kind of getting creative and thinking outside the box. And I like that part of it too, where I feel like sometimes in nursing, I feel like it's more critical thinking skills, and it's like, okay, this is the right answer, that's the wrong answer, versus in Animal Crossing, it's really about using a different part of your mind and just getting creative, being innovative, thinking outside the box. And I feel like it just activates a different part of my mind that I don't necessarily do at work all of the time. So I think this is a great game just to kind of relax you, be creative, there's no pressure. It's just a casual, comfy game. And I feel like if you have never played a video game ever and you are not someone who likes like battling conflicts, anything like that, I feel like you almost have to get Animal Crossing New Horizons, like just to start, just to see what it's all about and getting familiar with like different buttons and controls and stuff like that. So I definitely would highly recommend, and I feel like I couldn't make this video without mentioning it. Alright guys, so those are the games that I recommend for Nintendo Switch, for nurses and for anyone who's just new to gaming or who loves cozy and comfy games. I think that they're all great, but please comment below. I want to hear what games you guys like to play, because I'm always looking for a new game, because like I said, this is like my new hobby and I really enjoy it. So please comment below. I want to hear what you guys think, and please like this video and don't forget to subscribe. If you guys like this, then maybe I'll make some more gaming videos in the future, so please let me know. But I will see you in the next video, and there's going to be plenty of videos coming soon. All right, peace guys.